you see out of Alabama in this offense? Obviously, you got to look at it last year. Has it changed any at all?
No, they pretty much run the same thing they play. Uh, the analytics, they want to take a bunch of threes or layups or lobs or dunks. They don't play the middle game. No middle shots, no floaters, no pull ups. They pretty much stick to the analytics of the game, and that's how they play. They want to play fast, transition. They want the possessions in probably the high 80s, um, and they spread you and they play one on one and they look for matchups. They look for favorable matchups, and pretty much the same as they played last year.
A year ago, they stormed out of the gate, got, I think, a 17-point lead here, and then all of a sudden the three stopped. Do you remember or can you think back what you guys did defensively to slow them down? And I assume the same case for tomorrow.
I think that it was just plan A, and plan B was a better way to make our plan A work. And that's kind of like when you play Alabama is defend the 3 point line. We have a number that we want to try to keep them at in terms of field goal attempts from three and field goal makes from three. So we have a number that we want to try to hold them to if we can. And I think that the second half, if I'm not mistaken, the kid Ellis, he got off to a really good start and he couldn't miss. The one thing about Alabama, though, is they're not going to change their style. They're going to continue to play the way that they play, and that's to take quick strikes. And if they're hitting those, then it's a problem. But if they're not making those, then you can always find yourself in the game.
Against LSU, we saw you guys go to a really shortened seven-man rotation, just playing fewer players. What does that allow you guys to do better, or how do you approach that as a coaching staff?
I think it's from game to game, but I think that what that does for us is that helps us execute and it helps us find a group with some rhythm and a group that's in rhythm with one another. Um, Depending on the game, gives us a better chance to win. Shorten the rotation may be the answer, and I think we're still trying to find some other guys to get in that mix. But game to game, you may not know who that particular 5 or 6 or 7 is going to be.
I guess it's probably a certainty that Oscar is always going to be a part of that mix. Is there any concern about just the minutes that he's logging in terms of playing 38, 40 minutes a night consecutively with the SEC season still ahead?
Early on, when he was finding his way back, I think that there was some concern there. But I think now he's kind of gotten his legs under him. He's into his second win, so to speak. So I think he's in better condition than he was maybe a week or so ago. He wasn't quite in shape, and it's been an emphasis on that, getting him in shape. And I think he's further along the way in terms of his conditioning, and we feel pretty good about him logging a lot of minutes. However, we want to get him some breaks here or there, and I think that that's something that we're still trying to discover. But I think he can log heavy minutes and be effective.
I think this is the first time we've talked to you since the signing class was officially announced for 23. I guess, especially with the senior seasons that those five guys are having, can you kind of go player by player in terms of what's impressed you, the closer they get to becoming Wildcats?
I've had the opportunity to see all of them since they've signed, and they're all doing great. Um, the two that's on the Camden High School team, they're doing really well for their team. They're winning a bunch, although they lost the other night in Columbus in Miami. But they're having a great season. Reed's having a great season. I had the opportunity to see him in City of Palms. Wish he had an unbelievable tournament down there. I wish he would have made more shots in the 3 point contest. He made 13, and one guy, Sam, who's going to, was it Florida, he made like 15 and then kind of put him out. And so, but everyone is doing great. I've seen Justin play a couple times. He's doing great. Um, Rob is doing really well. So we're excited. We're excited about this group. It's a very special group. They're connected. They all communicate. We're all on a text thread, and so it's funny how 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 connected they are already. So that's a good thing. But excited about the group. They're very special, and we look forward to coaching them. But right now, our focus is on getting this team right, and that's Coach Cow's focus and getting our team right. So.
Last year against Alabama, Damien had a breakout game. His last game against LSU, he gave you guys some good minutes. How do you feel like his role is evolving as you guys, shorten this rotation? He was a part of that seven in this last game.
We think he's evolving. It's taking some time for Damon. He's going through some hardships, and so he's starting to get on the back end of that a little bit. And so we feel comfortable about putting him in the game and feel comfortable about his role expanding and feel comfortable about him being one of those guys that obviously can help us from here on out. This was a breakout game for him in the Alabama game, and it's a good game for him to play because of the way that they defend. Some of his vertical spacing that he gives us is something that you need in a game like this against Alabama, which is, with the way that their defensive schemes are set up, we can find him on the back end of that, if you understand what I'm saying, because of the vertical spacing that he gives us, the ability to throw lobs. And so he did that, and then obviously he got fouled a bunch in that game up there, and he was really good from the free throw line. So Damien is coming along, and we look forward to the progress Damien in the lineup and his progression as the season goes on.
What's the availability status for Lance and CJ for tomorrow?
Not quite sure of that right now. I think that's to be determined at practice here in a bit. I'm not privy to that as of yet, so I'm not sure of that.
What have you seen out of Brandon Miller so far in his hot start? And how do you all kind of plan to shut him down a little bit?
He's playing well. He has a ultimate green light. They run a lot of different things for him to get him looks, and they put the ball in his hand. They play him off the ball. They run a lot of screening actions for him. They put him in a bunch of ball screens. He's playing well, and if he's obviously got it going, then they utilize him more. His usage rate is pretty high, but it determines game by game. Like if he's got it going, then they're going to put the ball in his hand and they're going to play through him. We have a plan A and a plan B for how we're going to defend him this game, and hopefully, we can do what's needed to be to kind of neutralize him a little bit. But one of our things is to keep the irrelevant guys irrelevant, and so we want to make sure that we keep the main thing the main thing. I know I'm talking our basketball speak, which is a lot of my terminology because I deal with the defense a lot, but and we want to keep the relevant guys relevant, the irrelevant guys irrelevant, and if we do that, then we'll be fine.
I don't know if Jacob's one of those guys you kind of put on him, but have you seen the attitude change with him lately and just his positive mindset? And just is he ready for a challenge like that with guard guy like Brandon Miller?
Jacob's ready. I mean, Jacob's in a good space right now. It took some soul searching for him to get to the mindset he's in right now, and right now he's playing almost better than Brandon Miller in the last couple of games. So we'll see.
You challenged.
Last question, yes.
You challenged the guys after the Missouri game on the bench, the energy.
How you know?
That's what they said.
All right.
As they said, you challenged them. So obviously it was a little bit better in this LSU game. Going on the road, probably going to be a sold-out crowd again. How do you carry that over into this game?
It's us against the world, man. Like you watch some of these games, it's 3,000-4,000 people at the game, but when we show up, it's a sold house, so it's sold out. So we have to create our own energy, and I am on those guys a lot about either energy giver or energy taker. And I mean, if you're going to take energy for us, you might as well not even go. Don't come on the bus. So we're going to have the right energy on the bench, or they'll hear from me.